Okay. There we go. Should be able to hear me now. Had the mic off. Hey, Jason, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? I accidentally turned the mic off. Okay, cool. So it's Friday. It's just week number 8 of being stuck indoors. Hey, BB. It's hot over here. I haven't had one of these in a long time. So since you guys said you want jigs and fishing equipment, I switched up the raffle to include a bunch of neat stuff. A Salis 6.6 jig, great for yellowtail fishing. Magic metal light jig, surface fishing. Another like yellowtail jig. Another magic metal jig. Two bucktails. And a small jig for surf fishing or trout fishing. So, just to let you guys know, that's what we got for Wednesday's raffle. The raffle's going to be on Wednesday. It's not going to be today. But if you bought a ticket last Wednesday, yeah, you're in it. I guess we could do it today if you guys want to do it today. Let's see how many people sign up. If we sell like 20, 25 tickets, we can do the raffle today. I seem to have an endless supply of jigs, so we could do that. Adam, I do not have air conditioning. I have a ceiling fan, which I don't think you guys can see. Oh, there it is. A ceiling fan. So you can tell it's my house. I have a chart there on where to go fishing. Well, it doesn't show you where to go fishing, but it just shows you Catalina and the mainland. Every once in a while, I actually use it for reference and look at it. So this picture is a girl. This one's my niece, who now is a mother of 2. This girl was a girl I took out for her last wish. And it wasn't from Make-A-Wish. It was another group called Hunt of a Lifetime, because Make-A-Wish doesn't do anything where animals get hurt. And they thought maybe killing a fish might be too violent. So Hunt of a Lifetime asked me to take her out. And she got cured. She's doing really good. And she, well, I don't know if she got cured, but she's doing really good. And she's the mother. I think she's got 3 kids now. Yeah, she's doing really good. So I just got a phone call this week to do another one. I've done 3 before. And I have another young girl. I think this one's only 5. And they say that her cancer is in a really bad stage. So they asked me if I would take her fishing. So I will. So I'm just trying to reach the family now and see when we can set it up. Okay, what are the questions? Leo, they are catching tuna and yellowtail right now. A friend of mine, Billy, who is a really good tuna guide, he's got a smaller boat, and he was out today, and it looked like he got 3 bluefin. Nice sized bluefin. April, come on. Like he got 3 bluefin today, and he said there was yellowtail there too. What else? Mm. Yeah, I don't think anybody signed up today for the raffle. I could look. Nope. For some reason, people don't seem to sign up on Fridays. Mondays and Wednesdays seem to be the big days. But you never know. Maybe today will be different. And it's weird, like, what was it, Monday? We had over 350 people on here. And Wednesday was good. We ended up with like 90, 85 people, which wasn't bad. But, this is 35. I'm saying around 7 o'clock, we'll get like 50, maybe more. And please like the video. Okay. What's Miss asking? Mr. Dan, can you show us all kind of fish lure? Misty, what kind of do you want? Is there any particular type of fish lure you'd like to see? I'm not sure where you are located if you're outside the country, because when I was in the Middle East, the guys didn't fish with lures. They just fished with hand lines. So if I have any idea what you're fishing for, I can show you some specific reel lures. And if you can let me know if you're using rods and reels or a hand line. Ivan, hello from Washington. Ooh, you got a coho. Oh, and you caught it on one of my bucktails. Awesome. Can you send me that picture? I would love to have that picture post on my Facebook page. I hear stories of people using the bucktails to catch cohos, catch salmon, but I've never gotten pictures of it. So I'd love to have a picture to post up. Yeah, Kevin, I took her brother too, and the last kid too, the girl that was really, really bad, the one that caught the marlin. That was the first time I ever prayed for a tiny marlin. And the marlin she caught was so small that I was able to hold it in my hand. In one hand, I was able to hold the marlin. And that was a God thing. I've never seen a marlin that small. And this girl was in such bad shape from her illness and stuff that she could barely turn the handle. And we had to back the boat down on the fish for her. But she did it all by herself. She wouldn't leave the fish chair the whole day. But I think it was her brother that fished too with us the next day. But that was cool. Mm. So God's child says he's never been to Lake before. He's thinking about going. Any advice? Depends what you want to fish for. If you want to just catch bluegill, just some red worms, go to your local tackle store. Now that they're all open, you can get red worms or even mealworms if you have to. Just use a little bobber, a small hook, and make sure you use these type of hooks, bait holder hooks. Doesn't have to be eagle claw, but it has to be bait holder. It's got to have that little barb on it to hold onto the worm. And you want to use a really small hook, like a size 10, maybe a 12. A 10 would probably be good, but something really small. No sinker, and you should be able to see the bluegill before you catch them. Just get the worm close to them. So it's pretty good. And for the bass, you probably want to use artificial worms, Carolina rig them, fish them. So Andrew got on the Triton. Good. Yeah, they say they're running next weekend. So hopefully everything goes good and there won't be any problems with the state. So hopefully it goes, because I'm planning to run charters next week, probably too. Once most of us are all waiting for the county closure to be over, which sounds like it's going to be over on supposed to be over on the 15th, next Friday. So that's all everybody's waiting for. And it sounds like Tuesday, I think, is the day City of Long Beach is going to open up its beaches. Now they're saying you can't stop; you need to be walking. So hopefully, if you're just surf fishing and walking, it'll be okay. What you can't do is like take a chair, put down a blanket, or anything like that. So hopefully, that'll be okay. So, oh, so boat ramps up in Northern Cal are open. That's good. Scott got a ticket. Cool. I don't know of any piers opening up. I don't see that happening. Even if they do open a pier, they're not going to let you fish. They're going to probably cover all the benches up because they won't want anybody to stay in one spot. You'll have to be walking the whole time, and I'm sure they're going to have lifeguards or police on the piers once they do open them up. But I would bet money that the first piers you're going to see open are going to be in Orange County. I don't see any pier in LA County opening up anytime soon. Maybe Ventura, and I don't see San Diego opening anything up really soon. James, I have no idea where in Montana you are going. Is that actually in the state of Montana? I don't know. Yeah, so Tyler's saying like those little tiny piers that are located in Long Beach and Shoreline are open. They are open, but if they see you stop there, like sitting down on the benches and stuff, they're probably going to say something. But if you're just walking around throwing jigs and stuff, you don't have any problem. The problem with the piers there too, and they're not like a pier like Belmont Pier, So Beach Pier. These are really small. I mean, the most you can hold is probably like 10 people. Usually when I see them, there's like 4 to 6 people fishing on them. But the problem with them too is that they are very small and there's no parking around there. You're going to have to walk a long ways. All the parking lots in Shoreline Marina are all closed up, they're all blocked off. So it's going to be a long walk to get in there. James, hey Dan, what's a good setup for fishing from the beach for bigger fish? Well, normally if you're fishing on the beach, you're fishing for surf perch, corbina, and halibut. So, and halibut can get nice. They can get nice size. Some guys have caught some white sea bass on the surf. If you want to just catch something big to pull on, then you're going to want a longer rod, 12-foot rod, heavy line, and use like dead squid to catch bat rays and sand sharks. And they're fun to pull on, but the to have really fun surf fishing, you want light gear. You want something, you know, like this, a little spinning reel that you might use for freshwater fishing, bass fishing, trout fishing, something like this with like 6 pound test line is fine for the perch, stuff like that. If you're going to fish for the halibut, you're going to want something a little bit heavier, probably like 15-pound test line. Okay. Paul, what knot do you recommend putting braid onto a reel? It doesn't really matter what knot you put on the braid onto the reel. The knot that you use that are tougher are the knots that you're going to put the Spectra onto the fluorocarbon or the mono. I use two knots. I use the RP knot, which is also the John Collins knot, and I use a double uni knot. It works out fine for me. I haven't used the bucktails for freshwater. I know guys that use them for bass. They use the half-ounce model and fish in a little bit deeper water, and they jig with them. I know a lot of guys that use the bucktails for stripers. Anything white, red and white, all white. They use them, um, and they'll go ahead and they'll put an anchovy on it and bounce it around, and they catch a lot of stripers. Silverwood, lots of lakes they catch stripers on the bucktails. I've seen lots of pictures of that Diamond Valley. That's pretty cool. So Quaker Oaks, some boats are going to start running next week. They are going to start running next week in the Gale Force to try, and they're both running. Right after they run, I'm probably going to start doing my private charters. So I can take 4 people. The first couple of charters, people are calling me. They just want to go 2 people, and that's fine. They're chartering the whole boat, so they can go 1 person if they want. So we're going to start doing that. But we are getting quite a few phone calls for private charters. And once the other boats start running the 3/4 day trips, I'm pretty sure they're all going to have to raise their rates, because you're not going to see boats. I don't think you're going to see boats this summer with like 40, 50 people on them. But I think there's going to be, running with like 15. And some boats might be limited to 10. So that happens. Look for the prices to go way up. So Julio says the San Diego boats are requiring face masks. That'll be interesting. Where do you get your boating license? For the California boating license, you can get that online. It's just a test. The license I have is a skipper's license. That's from the Coast Guard. That's a much harder test. And I went to school for a couple of weeks for that. And then you have to take a Coast Guard a test. And that's a bigger challenge. But, and you have to have lots of days on the water. You have to have like 400 days or more. I forgot what the requirements are, but you have to have a lot of days on the water. Brandon, I think the boats are going to be limited load. I don't know what they're going to call that number. I don't know if they're going to say you have a 70-foot boat and every 6 feet, 1 person can be there, if they're going to mark it off that way. But I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. I'm just guessing that's what they're going to do. I'm hoping they don't do something like, no matter what size your boat is, you can only take 10 people, because that's going to put the really big boats in a bad situation. And the tuna trips and all that, I have no idea what's going to happen there. Hopefully everybody gets to start running soon. But, that's the $1 million question. Nobody really has an answer. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So Kevin just told me that that California boating card is going to be needed to rent a boat now. I don't know if it's already started or it's going to be soon, but you're going to have that boater's card to rent a boat like a Crawley and stuff like that where they rent boats. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with sleigh day boats. Probably because you're going to have that card, that boater's card, and it's an easy test. You can just do it online, so everybody should do it. What else? Oh, so Ricardo's going to go rock fishing tomorrow. Um, that's cool. I'll be out there. I'm just taking a couple of friends just to keep the boat running. So we're going to just go out. Tomorrow's not a charter. I'm not taking any guests. Just taking a couple of friends. So we'll see what happens there. So Ricardo says he's going to be fishing over by the oil rigs. I'm probably going to go a different direction, closer to the horseshoe. What rigs should you be using? If you're going to go over there by the oil rigs where those small reds are, small rockfish, you're going to want 2 half-ounce B52 bucktails with the strip of squid. And you can fish with a straight hook. That's not a problem. But you're going to need a smaller hook. So the problem with fishing a straight hook like this is you can have your squid here. And there's so many little fish down there. They're going to pick at the squid. They're going to pull the squid off. So when the squid's off, you just have a hook like this, and you're not going to catch anything. Whereas if you have the bucktail and it's pulsating in the current, and this is moving, and if the fish pull the squid off it, this pulsating is still going to attract the fish, and you'll catch fish. I've caught sculp and stuff just using the bucktail with no bait on it. So that's why I always tell you guys, make sure you have a bucktail on there. That way, if your squid comes off, you can still get bit. But that's what I would use. Marcos was ordering Lucille's. That sounds like a good idea. Tyler heard M Street Dock is Newport. Okay, I don't know anything about that. Okay, so that place, James, is south of Cambria. I probably haven't fished there. I fished that little beach just north of Cambria, going to San Simeon. I was there about 2 years ago, and it was phenomenal fishing. It was so good that I wanted to see how many perch are really there that I used 2 dropper loop rigs with the gulp worms and a little sinker, and I was catching the barred perch 2 at a time. That's how good the fishing was there. But I really liked it. It was good. Abraham has a hoop net question. Do you recommend the blue Promars or the flat ones? Okay, so I would recommend the rigid ones. I think that's what you're talking about, the blue ones. And they make 2 different sizes. I mean, they make 2 different weights. They make a heavy one and they make a lighter one. I would say get the lighter one if you're going to fish shallow. And then if you decide you're going to fish down deep, like 200 feet or deeper, then you can just add chain to it to make it heavier. But if you're going to fish like inside the breakwater, close to breakwater, you don't need the heavy nets. But if you're going to fish over 100 feet, 200 feet, then you're going to want the heavier nets, and you're still going to need chain. I would get the PVC. Last year, this past season, the seals were vicious. I had one trip where a seal broke every one of my bait cages in one spot. So that was brutal. So all 10 of my bait cages got destroyed. So yeah, I would get the PVC ones, plastic ones, the pipe ones. And I probably would paint them black. So, because I don't know if I would probably paint them black. Just make it harder for the seals. But seals are going to smell it, so I don't know if it's going to matter that much. Okay, Lloyd. Yeah, any place that there's stripers are going to use the bucktails. I wish you guys could send me pictures because I could use them, put them on social media, and put them on Facebook. Updates on red tide. I was down at my boat today, and the red tide was really bad inside the marina. But I saw pictures today of people outside along the beach by Alamitos Bay and there on the peninsula, and there was no red tide. So I don't know if it's just a current thing. Current comes in and out. The tides, if it's taking the red tide in and out or what, but it's going to be, it's still there. Favorite bay fish to eat? Probably be halibut. Garrett caught a 9-pound calico next to Coronado's on Wednesday. Hope you took a picture because very few people ever catch a 9-pound calico bass in their life. I've been lucky to catch 2 10-pounders, but that's over my whole lifetime. Lloyd, yeah, I think everyone's going to need a boater's card to be on the water. Um, you got to go to their website because they're doing it by ages. So I know like 18 to 24 or something. I think it's already mandatory for that age group. But as you get older and older, they're not as mandatory. So you got to make sure you get them. Tyler. Is there any fishing spots where you don't advise using a bucktail? Hmm. I've never used them for salmon, but we got guys on here saying that they've caught salmon on them. I probably wouldn't use the bucktail for sharks, but I guess if you just put a big mackerel on there, it wouldn't matter. The shark would eat it. So I guess, yeah, I guess I'd use a bucktail. I've gotten most of my white sea bass on bucktails. My best halibut fishing has been on bucktails. All my rockfish was on bucktails. I've caught yellowtail on bucktails. I've caught tuna on bucktails. So I got lots of lingcod on bucktails. So yeah, I've caught spotted bay bass on bucktails. I guess I would use bucktails. You guys see me in every episode catching fish on bucktails, so I don't know why you're not all using them. William, do you like fish tacos? Yes, I like fish tacos. I might even be making some tonight. I was thinking about it. Flat Falls is more of a tuna jig. Normally when you're in water like 1,000 feet, 3,000 feet deep, that's what the guys are using. They're using Flat Falls for that. I don't know if I'd use them at Catalina. What techniques do I use for bucktails? It depends where you are. If you're along the kelp bed, you're going to want to use a light bucktail and you want it to just slowly fall down along the edge of the kelp. You can pitch it into the kelp and let it fall down with a strip of squid or a whole squid on there, and you'll get bit. If you're on the bottom fishing for lingcod, you're going to use a big one. You're going to hit the bottom. You're going to lift it up, yo-yo it up a little bit, and then when it comes back down a second or third time, put the reel in gear and wind it up fast, like 4 or 5 cranks, stop it, and then let it flutter back down. It works really good. And for the sand bass, and if there's calicos on the bottom, I'm just hitting the rocks and just bouncing it. Come up a few cranks, stop it, let it flutter down. Come back a few cranks, let her down. Make a long cast and just work it back. And when you're on a sport boat, if you're not sure where the structure is, ask the captain, because 90% of the time when they anchor the boat, they don't get it right on the spot where the reef is. They'll get you close. They'll get it close enough so when they're chumming bait, the fish will come up toward the boat. But you don't want to, lots of time they're not going to anchor the boat right on top of the spot. So if you're not sure where the spot is, ask the skipper. He'll tell you and then cast in that direction. You want to get it close to there. Yeah, Kevin, I saw that on the news. Then also, there was a lot of people at the beach last night in LA County because last night was a grunion run. So I guess the word got out that it was a grunion run, and there was tons of people out there. So Garrett, that fish, you had that picture on your Instagram? All right, I'll check it out tonight. Tyler wants to know what's the most surprising catch I made on my charters? I don't know, maybe that 9-pound sand bass got the picture of, because I wasn't fishing for it. I was trying to catch a shark. There was a mako thresher shark circling the boat eating our bait. So, we dropped down a whole mackerel, live mackerel, on a huge hook, a 9-aught, 10-aught hook with 400-pound wire, and put it down on the bottom for that shark to eat. And the shark didn't eat it. The 9-pound sand bass ate it. So that was impressive. But I don't know. The fish I remember most are like the rooster fish down in East Cape, the sailfish, the marlin, all that kind of stuff. Fishing in the rivers in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, all that works out good. What else? What's a good rod for pier and jetty fishing? Depends what you're fishing for. You don't need a super long rod. An 8-foot rod would be plenty long enough. You don't need a 15-foot, 12-foot rod fishing on a pier. And on the jetty, you probably don't even need that too. It just depends what kind of fishing you're doing. The problem is when I get questions like that, a lot of you think you can buy one rod and do everything. You can take it trout fishing, you can take it surf fishing, you can take it tuna fishing, and you can't. You really need to have different rods for different situations. I mean, the rod I use for throwing a jig is totally different than the rod I might use for fly lining live bait. It's going to be different from, fishing a little bucktail. So you really need rods for different situations. And then just to remind you guys that if you'd like to watch my TV programs 24/7 whenever you want, here is a link to my on demand. So you can download the app. It's $1.50, $1.99 a month. And we have not only bucktails on there, but we also have, we have not only HD videos on there, we also have some 4K episodes there too. If you guys are having trouble getting the raffle tickets, one thing you got to remember is that you got to put a shipping address on there. Even though we're not shipping you anything, you still need to have a shipping address on there for the transaction to go through. So here's a link for the raffle tickets if you'd like to get a raffle ticket. Let me see. Oh, a couple of people bought raffle tickets. Yeah, we only sold only 2 people bought raffle tickets so far. So hopefully by Monday we'll get more people and we can do the drawing. Any other questions? Let's see. Yeah, Benjamin, I have no idea when the piers are going to open. Like Tyler said, some of the small piers, like the ones in Shoreline Marina, are open now, but they're really short piers. I mean, they're only 30 feet long. They're not very long. So, but the big piers, the Seal Beach, the Huntington Beach piers, Santa Monica Pier, I have no idea when those are going to open. And when they do open, I don't think they're going to be open for fishing. They're just going to be open for walking. Yeah, so Rideshare is asking about getting a ticket. I really think that if you're on the beach and they catch you, I don't think they're going to write you a ticket right away. I think if they ask you to leave and you don't leave, you're going to get a ticket. I can guarantee you get a ticket. But if they come up to your lifeguard or police and they ask you to leave the beach, I don't think you're going to get a ticket. But yeah, but if they do ask you to leave, leave. Like the one guy on the paddleboard in Malibu, who they told to leave, he didn't leave, and he ended up getting $1,000 ticket. Ricardo, what about magic metal jigs? Do you work those? Do those work? Yeah, I've caught yellowtail on those at Calene, and I've also caught yellowtail on bucktails. You know, bucktail with the single grub on here, single tail grub works really good. A gulp bait on there works really good. I've caught several. I mean, quite a few yellowtail on there. Yeah, Brian, I usually recommend using a strip of squid on all the bucktails, not because you need it to get bit, just because if you're not used to working it, a bucktail without it on there, what will happen is you'll get bit and you won't recognize you got bit. So the fish might spit it out. But if you feel that, if you feel anything, grab it. That's when you want to wind down, tighten your line, and then set the hook. A lot of people make the mistake of as soon as they get bit, they jerk the rod. And you have so much slack in your line that all it's doing is let the fish know that you're there and you don't get the fish. You always want to take all the slack out of your line before you set the hook. So having that squid on there is going to help you get a better set on the fish because it's gonna fish is gonna hold on more because he's tasting the squid, and then as you wind down, you can take the slack out and then set the hook. So Vicky says she's trying to get raffle tickets, not working. It should be working, and I can't imagine there's that many people on there at one time because I think we've only sold like 4 raffle tickets. Oh, there's another one. Bruce just ordered a raffle ticket. So I have Bruce's. Bruce ordered one. Scott ordered one, and Levon's got 2. Riverside, LA, and Covina. So people are ordering them, so it shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, if you aren't putting the shipping address, if you're not filling out the shipping address, it won't go through. You gotta make sure you put the shipping address there. Okay. Yeah, if you guys would like the video, it would help a lot. And we'll get more people here. Garrett wants to know, do you ever try to get squid and Catalina, and then yeah, I used to do that before. Um, Take my boat over there, put the lights out, and catch a squid when Larry was with me, because then Larry could run the boat too. It's just, you know, I guess as you get older, it's easier to just go buy the squid. But and I enjoy catching the squid. It's fun, but you have to, get enough of it to float that you can net it. If you just use squid jigs to catch it, it's got to be pretty thick to get enough to make it for fishing. So I don't know. Yeah, so Lloyd's bought some raffle tickets in the past. I actually won the other day. So Lloyd's saying that to make sure you hit the cart icon to get to the next step. But you guys should be able to get the tickets. So Matthews is asking, what's your advice for beginners fishing for yellowtail? Hmm. If you see them the problem is for beginners is I really don't want to tell you guys to start throwing a jig. But if you could get to where you could throw a surface jig, um, and you know how to use a surface jig, you're going to catch more yellowtail. But if you don't know how to throw a jig, I'd rather just see you toss live bait, live squid, live sardines, get it out behind the boat, use fluorocarbon to make your line harder to see. That makes all the difference. If you just use straight monofilament, it's easier for the fish to see. And spend some time at the bait tank. Make sure you get a good lively bait. If you spend some time at the bait tank and you get a good lively bait, you're gonna catch a lot more fish. If you just go to the bait tank and grab any bait you can, um, you're not going to catch fish. So you really, really need to use spend some time at the bait tank, and that will help you. But yeah, really, the more time you spend at the bait tank, the better bait you get, the better off you're going to be, the more fish you're going to catch. Yeah, Tony, I don't know anything about those. If your daughter can't touch squid, then I would use live bait. Stay with the live sardines, live anchovies. But I don't know if those things work. I've never tried them. What kind of fish tacos am I making? I think today I'm making stripers. I defrosted some stripers and some rockfish from my Emeryville trip. So I think I'm going to do that. So Ken says he's heading to Catalina tomorrow. Be careful heading over there tomorrow. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Wave wise, it sounds fine, but it was super foggy this morning, and it sounds like it's going to be foggy again tomorrow. So make sure you have radar on your boat. I'm going tomorrow, and I'm expecting the radar issue. April, come on, come here, 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 come here. See if I can get her to make. April, come on. Come get your food. Come on. Come here. Here. I don't know. I think she's freaked out by the computer. She probably doesn't understand why I'm talking to myself. That's what I see as a picture of myself. So here she comes. She's poking her head. Come on, April. Come on. Come get your bone. She's smelling the ground, smelling everything. Come on, April. Okay, what else? Have you ever kept a shark on TV too? Yeah, we've kept sharks when we caught makos or somebody caught a nice thresher. We've kept sharks. There you go. She gonna try to get the other one? I think she's gonna go eat that one first. Yeah, we have kept sharks, and I've done episodes on my own boat where we went out and went to go catch sharks. Native Mike, how often do people cancel on your TV charter trips? Yeah, I mean, if someone cancels on a TV filming trip, what we do is we post it on Facebook, or you want to get on our email list, you go to my website and there's a list there to get our updates. You want to put your email address on there because sometimes that happens. You know, we have a trip on a Sunday, maybe on Thursday somebody cancels. So we try to sell the spot for them so we can give them back their money. And so what we'll do is we'll put an email blast out. We have an email list, like 5,000 names. So we'll send it out and let people know that it's available. If they want to go, then they buy the spot. We can refund the person. If not, they don't get their money back. So that's how you can get on that stuff. But if there's a trip you really want to go on, sign up today. You know, if there's a trip you really want to be on in July, June, sign up today. And if the trip doesn't go and it's postponed, we'll just move you to the trip. So you don't have to worry about it. What's the best time a year for yellowtail? When they're biting. They're catching them now. Gale Force captain had them 3 weeks ago, Catalina. Friends of mine have been Catalina, and they got them 2 weeks ago. I don't know anybody went last weekend. I think some people caught them last weekend too. I saw. I know there was a week there was a lot of fog, so people were kind of nervous and didn't go, but they are there. Come on, April. Come on. But the yellowtail are there. Yeah, the raffle's probably going to be on Monday, just because we don't have that many people signed up. We have less than a handful of people bought raffle tickets today, so we need to sell some because we got lots of prizes for this next one. We got a Salas 6.6 lure, a magic metal light, two more lures, 2 bucktails, and a small magic metal for surf fishing or bonita and stuff like that. So we need to sell a bunch more tickets. It's only $5. $5 you can get all that stuff. One of those lures is over $5, so it's a good deal. What, April? I don't know what you're waiting for. What's your go-to recipe for fish tacos? I usually don't deep fry them. I usually pan fry them with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter, and fresh tortillas. And just pretty simple. You know, I don't do anything too elaborate. If you want to try something different on a fish taco that you've maybe never done, and you're going to deep fry it, I know this sounds weird. They call it a California fish taco. Is put coleslaw on it with the hot fish, crunchy, deep fried, and you put coleslaw on top of it. Surprisingly, it's really good. I've had it a couple of times at restaurants that we were filming cooking segments with, and I was surprised how good it was. And both restaurants called it a California style fish taco. Yeah, April likes fish. Yeah, there's still some red tide around, not as bad as before. So Lee's saying that he sees a lot more people butt hooking the bait. Um, I don't know if you see it more often or you're noticing it more, but normally when people do that, it's normally on a tuna trip because maybe the skipper says the fish are 100 feet down or 50 feet down. And when you hook the bait in the back in the butt area, it makes them dive down. And it's good that, they're going to run down toward the fish. The problem is if you don't get bit, they come up like a propeller and then they peel off and you lose it. You don't get the bait. I usually don't fish like that, put a bait on, because I can't tell you how many times, especially bluefin, I've caught bluefin tuna by winding my line back in, bringing the bait back toward me, stopping a little bit, put the reel in free spool, crank it again, 10, 15 cranks, stop it, put it in free spool. And lots of times I've gotten bit that way, working my bait back in, kind of working my live bait like a lure. But if you butt hook it, you can't do that. Once you start winding it in, it comes up like a propeller, the hook pulls, and then you're done. You have to wind in and put on a fresh bait. So Robert, no, I usually don't use frozen chum. I do have like stuff that holds chum on my boat. Sometimes I use it in heavy kelp, and it's not so much to pull the bass out. What it does is it pulls the smelt and the blue perch and the other bait fish out of the kelp, and that attracts the bigger fish closer to the boat. But yeah, I mean those work. Just usually becomes a mess sometimes, dragging it all over the place. So Gene, you have a friend here that wants me to say hello to him. Armando, because Gene says hello. What would yellowtail bite better? It depends where you're fishing. If you're at Catalina, I would probably say a 6X Junior. If you're down in Baja, Guadalupe Island, I'd say a 6X. It just depends. And if the fish are bigger, if you're at Catalina fishing Farnsworth, you're probably going to want a 6X. You're going to want a bigger jig, heavier jig. What are you crying about? Come on. Come get your bone. Come on. There's your bone right there. I don't know, it just gave me the look of guilt. Let's see. What other questions do we got here? What's my favorite smoked fish? I don't know. Tuna, marlin, wahoo, dorado. They're all good. What way do you hook your live bait? Sardines, I like to hook them right in front of the eyeballs. There's a little hole there for their nose. That's where I like to hook them. Anchovies, I like to gill hook them back here behind the head. Mackerel, I normally nose hook them too. And we were talking knots last time. Using a perfection loop knot will help you make your live bait look more lively. And we talked about this last time, but I can do it for you again. So this is a ring hook, and it's got a ring on there. And if you don't know how to tie a perfection loop knot, this is what a lot of people tie the line right here, so the hook can move freely in any direction. But you can take fishing line and make your own knot, your own loop knot. So you just take your line, you make a loop. Now you slide the hook on. Let me find a hook. So now you have a loop, a hook, and a piece of line. And you just take the line and you go underneath the loop and then back across. So it's like 1.5 times. So it's like that. Then you take the hook through the big loop. And you just come down on it. Before you cinch it, wet it. And you see how that line is right there, 45-degree angle? It tells you it's perfectly tied. And for fishing, I would make a smaller loop, maybe about that size of a loop, but just so you guys can see it. And then you just cut off the tag end. This is the tag end, the long line. Cut that off. And now you got the hook and the loop. Your bait hits the water and it can swim any direction it wants. And it moves nice and free. And you'll do a lot better with this than you will with just tying the hook straight to the knot. Tying your line straight to the hook. Okay. And if you don't know when to set the hook on a fish, use a circle hook. That's a circle hook there. It just takes all the guessing out of it. It'll, all you have to do is just put the reel in gear and you get the fish. Come on, April. Come on. There's her feet. Just finally getting hungrier, I guess. Come on, you're almost there. Grab your bone. Could a tuna use? So the question is, if you're on a wide open bite, you catch a tuna, you take the hook out of it and you let it go, will the whole school leave? I don't think so. What's really critical is that first tuna. Um, when you're trolling, they use really heavy line on the trolling rods so that when the fish bites the trolling lure, that first fish comes into the boat, gets gaffed and brought on the boat. That first lead fish, when it's brought onto the boat and killed, the whole school kind of falls apart. And the school gets close enough to the boat, and as the crew's chumming bait, the school of fish will stay close to the boat. If that first fish gets off the hook and swims away, the whole school will go with it. But if you're on a bite for 5, 10 minutes or 30 minutes and you're catching a bunch of fish, you can catch. I mean, we do that sometimes on trips where we just have too many fish, and the guys will fight the fish, and we'll get the fish to the boat, and we won't gaff it. We'll cut the line, or if it's a smaller tuna, we'll bounce it and take the hook out, and then that way the fish can go, not be hurt. So that works out too. But we've never had a problem with the rest of school leaving. She went back to her bed. Okay, best rod for halibut fishing off a pier. I would guess you're going to use a spinning rod off a pier. I don't know. So it all depends what you want to fish for. If you want to go spinning rod, conventional. I think the best value for a good quality rod is probably those Californian rods. But there's lots of other rods that are even less expensive, but they're not going to be a Phoenix blank. So it just depends what you want to spend. And it's all about your budget. And the first rod doesn't have to be a super expensive rod. And I don't have a lot of super expensive rods. I mean, I have a lot of Cal Stars. I have some Phoenix rods, but I use a lot of the Californian rods a lot. For my private charters, I use the Californian rods, and they work out really good. So Rex wants to know if I ever use the octopus that comes out of a jar. No, I've never done that, but I have bought octopus or the big squid from the Asian markets, but I've never bought it from a can. Matthew, what type of rapalas are good for trolling? It depends how deep you're fishing and how deep you want to go. The longer the bill is in front of the lure, the longer this bill is, the deeper the lure is going to go. And normally on rapalas, if it says a 20 or a 30, it's telling you it's going to dive down that deep. But it just depends what you're doing, how fast you plan to go, what you're fishing for. Like tuna, you can go a lot faster than if you're trolling for calico bass. So it just depends what you want to do. Can I say hi to Abraham? Hello. If you guys are big fans of mine, you should come on a trip. If you want to book a private charter with me, you could sign up, this week. Pick your date, and you can come out with us in the next couple of weeks. Or if you want to go on one of the filming trips and be on TV, just go to my website, and all our trips are listed there. And you can sign up and join us. And when you go to the website, there's a little thing on the left here that says book online. And you just want to click on that, and you'll see all the trips. It looks like our trip for the Triton is going to run for sure, because the Triton's going to be running next week. And that one might be already full. But we have other trips there that you can sign up for, lots of other trips. Our trip on the Enterprise for July is already sold out, but we have some other trips. Ricardo, what kind of hook and what size should you use for a dropper loop rig? Whenever you think about hooks, Ricardo, it's always dependent on the size of your bait. If you have little tiny anchovies for bait, you can use a small hook like a size 4. If you have big sardines and mackerel for bait, you're going to use a large hook, maybe a 2.0 or 6.0, depending on how big the bait is. Don't pick your bait, don't pick your hook size by the size of fish you think you're going to catch. You can catch a 50-pound tuna on a small size 2 hook. You have to really match your hook size to the bait that you're using. And I see that all the time. I see people use a really big hook on a small bait, thinking that, I'm going to catch a big fish, so I got to use a big hook. And really, you don't. You really got to use the hook that matches your bait. Hey, here she comes. Oh, she's pushing it away. Come on, April. You can do it. You're so close. You already tasted it. There you go. See how deliberate and careful April is when she eats? Fish are not like that. Fish do not do what she's doing. Fish do not taste it. They don't lick it. Fish eat like I do. They start about this far away and they suck up everything in between and blow out through their gills. So you would never see a fish do what April's doing. I think April's just afraid of the computer for some reason. Make it easier for you. Get it closer to you. I took it right to you. You should be able to get it now. There you go. If fish did that, we would never catch them. Elliot, what trips do I have out of San Diego? I have a bunch of tuna trips out of San Diego that we're hoping will happen. I think the first one starts in July, and we're still going to add another one, the Sea Adventure 80, probably for the fall. I'm not sure if it's going to be October or November, but we will add one. We did a tuna trip in December, if you guys remember, 2 days before Christmas, and we caught tuna. And we caught tuna in February this year. And the tuna are here now. My friend Billy caught tuna today. So, so the tuna are here. And the tuna that Billy caught are close. I shouldn't say they're super close, but they're in local area because he was just fishing. I think he left out of Huntington Beach. I don't know exactly where he left from, but he wasn't in San Diego. He was either in Orange County or LA County. I'm guessing he was in Orange County, and he got tuna. So Kevin wants to know: blue rockfish, Johnny bass, tree fish. How do they taste? Yeah, no, they taste good. All that white meat fish tastes good. They're not as good as vermilion, you're right. But when you go to a restaurant and you order rockfish, or lots of times when you order red snapper, you're getting any sort of rockfish. They don't necessarily give you red snapper. They just give you some white meat fish, whitefish. David, no, I've never been to Lake Lopez. Yeah, so Kevin's giving you a good tip there about rapalas. You really don't want to get the ones with the metal bill because they will get banged up as you bring the fish into the boat. And the fish, if they swallow it, will beat them up too. So the hard plastic bill works a lot better. There's no more food. You come by and say hi? He's looking for another bone. What trip are you looking the most forward to? Probably the East Cape. I really like going down the East Cape. I like I said before, it's probably the only place in the world I can think of where in one day you have a good chance of catching a marlin. And I fished lots of places around the world, and just that's a remarkable place. The only place that's probably a little easier to catch a billfish is Guatemala. In Guatemala, if you catch 20 sailfish in a day, that wouldn't be a record. That would be like an average day down there. But out of the East Cape, not only do they have sailfish, but they also have blue marlin, black marlin, striped marlin, a lot of wahoo. All the times I've been to Guatemala, it was mainly all sailfish. Very rarely did we catch a billfish other than sailfish, but we did catch a lot of dorado. Yeah, I don't know, David, where they were. He has a website where you pay a fee to get the information. So I'm thinking about doing that too. We're giving out the GPS numbers where I'm fishing from my private charters. So those of you that have boats, it'll save you fuel money, and I can post some pictures and put the numbers there so you can see what I caught the fish on where I was. But he did pretty good. Jose wants to know what type of reels would you use for tuna fishing. For a small school size tuna, these work out fine. For 20, 15 to 30 pound tuna, these work out fine. The 400 series. When you start getting into the bigger tuna, um, like 100-pound tuna, 70 to 100-pound tuna, you need a larger reel. And you're going to need 80-pound Spectra with 50 to 60-pound fluorocarbon on top. And then once you get into the 200-pound tunas and all that, you're going to need like a big international 2-speed reel. So, when we go fishing, we take all those. Yeah, Lloyd, that sounds good. I'd like to try to do that. I've caught lots of salmon before, mainly in Alaska and Canada, and doing trolling and all that too. But yeah, I'd like to do that. Yeah, I haven't heard of any jetties that are open for fishing. Tony's asking, yeah, Tony, you can use the bucktail in the surf. One of the guys is on here, Ivan, I think it is. He catches a bunch of halibut, the half ounce, using the half ounce B52 bucktail in the surf, and he's caught halibut on it quite a few times. I don't know exactly what color he's using, but he says it works really good for him on the halibut. Yeah, David, I'm going to keep doing these after this is over. I won't be doing it 3 days a week like this because between hopefully we get to open up our business again and then private charters too and the filming trips. So I won't have the energy to do this all the time. But I think we'll pick a day, maybe Wednesdays, because I don't know, maybe Friday, maybe Wednesday, Monday, because there'll be Monday Night Football, hopefully, even though there won't be anybody in the stands. So that won't work. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'll probably have a bunch of Friday charters, and I'll have a lot of charters on Saturdays, so it's probably going to be Wednesday, I would think, or maybe Sunday. Oh, yeah, Sunday night. There's Sunday night football, so we can't even do that. So yeah, so it's probably going to be Wednesday night. We'll see. We'll try to find a day. If you guys want to keep doing this, so I don't mind doing it. Again, there's a link there for my app. If some of you guys could support me on the app, that'd be awesome. I would greatly appreciate it. And if some of you would like to book me for a private charter, we are booking dates now for June and beyond. So here is the link for my private charter rates and list of trips. We probably will be doing charters by the Memorial Weekend this month. So I would think by then we'll be doing private charters. Like I said, the Gale Force and the Triton are going to start running not this weekend, but next weekend. And long as they can get off the dock and there's no trouble with that and the county lets them, then I'm going to go right after that. So, Robert, is there any chance the Fred Hall show in Del Mar will happen? I don't think so. If they're saying that they don't think there's going to be football games or basketball games with people in the stands, I don't know how they would let people go to a convention. So, I mean, lots of big events that happen, like the Halloween events, are already being canceled. That's October. So, I don't know. It doesn't look good. You're a big advocate of taking care of your catch. What do you have for that? Are you talking about on a 3/4 day trip on your own boat or on a party boat? So if it's on your own boat, you need to take ice. What I don't take actual ice. I take the Arctic ice bricks because, like tomorrow when I go out of my boat, I'm taking 4 of the Arctic ice bricks to keep in my Yeti chest to keep the fish in there. And then if we get some big yellowtail or something, then I'll pull out my kill bag and we'll put the Arctic ice in there. It just makes it so much easier. I don't want to have to stop somewhere at 5 in the morning and hope to have ice and all that. So I always just take the Arctic ice with me. I have it in my freezer all the time, and I don't have to deal with getting ice. And it works out really good. You just wash them off at the end of the day, and we'll do that. Yeah, Tyler, we're going to do a private charter. We're going to do a private charter prize for 2 people as part of my monthly YouTube deal. So we will do that. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Yeah, Eric, we're scheduling private charters right now. Um, we're probably going to start running by Memorial Weekend. So if you'd like to pick a date to do a private charter, or I don't know if we're going to do open party private charters like we were doing before. But if you want to put a group together, 2 or 4 people, you can use your credit and do that. Yeah, Roy, the only day we're in the office is on Thursdays, just because of the closures, and we're not a necessary business. So our office is closed, and Monica's just coming in 1 day a week. So we've had to close down our business because of the virus. So the only day that we're there is on Wednesdays. So I'm sorry, on Thursdays. So if you would like to schedule something, give us a call on Thursday and we can do that. Okay, Roy. And then you can also email me too, Roy, if you want. And if you guys don't have my email address, I'm surprised because everybody has it. Here's my email address. And if you want to reach Monica, just put Monica instead of my name and it'll reach her. Eric. Yeah, call her on Thursday. She won't be in the office on Monday. She'll be there on Thursday. I should be there for a few hours on Monday just to get TV shows out to the TV stations, but Monica won't be there. She's only coming in 1 day a week. Yeah, Scott, the swap meets are a lot of fun, and we're hoping we get to have the one in November. We were trying to reschedule the one for April for this summer, but until they allow large groups, we won't be able to do that. We've only sold about 6 or 7 raffle tickets today, Tyler. How long do Arctic ice bricks last? Yeah, I would think so because I take them on the boat and we have them in our ice chests or in our kill bag. And at the end of the day, after we're done fishing all day, they're still cold. I mean, they're not as cold as they were at the beginning of the day, but the fish is nice and hard. So I would think it. Excuse me. I think it would be fine if you left them in your car while you're out on a 3/4 day boat. It would work fine. Yeah, Kevin has a good point. If you guys are going to go to Catalina next week, make sure, and anytime you go on your boat, make sure you check the weather report because they are calling for wind and possibly rain Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to see what happens. What are the swap meets like? The swap meets are fun because you got lots of people there selling fishing tackle. A lot of it's brand new fishing tackle, and some of it, and a bunch of guys are just people that have a bunch of tackle in their garage that they just want to get rid of. So they bring it there and they sell it there. So that's what they're like, and we just talk fishing and you're surrounded by people that love fishing. So how can it not be a good time? Here's the link for our TV filming trips. So if there's a trip you'd like to get on, sign up today or this weekend, and you can do that. So, Rick, when I go to the East Cape, I always fly down. If you try to drive down, it's 2 days. You just don't want to drive at night. Not that like there's bandits and stuff. The reason you don't want to drive at night on that highway because it's one lane each way, and at night, cattle likes to sleep on the highway. So people die because they see the cow last second, they swerve to eliminate it, to not to hit it, and what they end up doing is going off the road, and they die. So the farmers would much rather you drive over the cattle and not die and just pay them for the cow. But so that's why I like to fly down. Plus, you fly down, it's only a 2 hour flight, and it's really easy to bring your fish back. So, Sean, we don't have a swap meet date right now. We normally have one in April, and we normally have another one in November. We've been trying to reschedule our April one, but we haven't been able to just because of the virus. No large groups can get together. We have hundreds of people show up for the swap meet, so of course we can't do it. We'd never get a permit from the city to do it. And plus, our warehouse is closed. We can't even have a business operating right now. And we need to get the sport boats running so we can start filming new episodes too. So it looks like our trip on the Triton is going to take place for sure. So that'll be good. Hey guys, please hit the like button. Please, please, please. So we can get more people on here to like the video. And if you could support me, buy stuff off my website and order my app. There's a link to the app on Vimeo. If you'd like to order some lures, some bucktails and stuff, use that code SAVE20 and you'll get 20% off. So that would work out good. Yeah, if you're on a boat that doesn't have refrigeration and you're catching tuna, that's all you can do really is to bleed them, get the blood out of them, and get them in a gunny sack and keep the sack wet. If you can get the boat to take the guts out of the fish while it's in the sack, if they don't have a fish hole to drop them in, that would be best. You want to cool down the body of the fish as quick as possible. Eric, the Twilight trip, I think, is May 31st. It's the last Sunday in May. It's the weekend after the holiday weekend, after Memorial Weekend. So it's like 3 weeks from now. Not the 16th and not the holiday weekend, which is the week after that. So, yeah, it's like 3 weeks from now. Okay. All right, guys, we're getting close to 2 hours. So, thanks for joining me. Got 75 people right now. Thanks, guys. And please support me if you can. My youth foundation could use help too. We are still trying to replace the stuff that got stolen. We haven't been able to do any fundraisers, and there's no grants being rewarded anywhere right now. So, if any of you can help donate to the Youth Foundation, just go to our website at danskids.org and make a donation. That would help us. Yeah, Sean, we have our dates posted on our website, and let me give you the link. And you can go there to our website and pick a trip that you want to go on and sign up. So that'll work out good. Thanks, Kevin. I'll tell my mom you said hi. Happy Mother's Day to yours. And Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And check my Facebook page tomorrow. If we catch anything decent, I'll post some pictures up for you guys. And hopefully, I'll be posting some pictures on Instagram tomorrow. Hopefully, the fog isn't too ugly and we have a good time. Yeah, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. And thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. And if you're interested in private charters, I think private charters are going to be the way to go. Um, if you really want to get on a boat and go do some fishing, I think private charters is going to be, especially small boats like mine, where we only take 4 people, be a great way to take the kids out, or your husband and wife, or girlfriend, whatever. I think it'd be a great way to go. So I think we're going to get the green light before the big boats do, and definitely before the overnight boats do. So tomorrow I'm just going to take a couple of friends just as a warm-up trip to get ready, because I think we are going to start doing charters right after the stay-at-home thing ends on the 15th. So if you guys would like to book me for a private charter, here's the rates and stuff again, and be glad to take you out. And again, it's going to be 4 people or less. And if you're more comfortable just going 2 people, that's fine. We can do that. The boat's 12 foot wide, so 2 people, 12 foot apart from each other would be fine. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. And I'll see you back here Monday. Check me on Instagram tomorrow, Facebook, and hopefully we'll have pictures for you. Good night, everybody.